After the 7 Noahide laws have been presented, several fundamental debates still remain. These debates do not lend themselves to simple answers. They touch on the relationship between action and belief, between intention and habit, and between ethical minimums and spiritual growth. The first debate concerns the fact that the Noahide laws do not require humanity to worship God. This is striking when compared with many other religious systems. Here, it is not liturgy, confession of faith, or religious identity that stands at the center, but action. The laws focus on how human beings treat one another and the world. This raises an important question. How can Judaism bring blessing to the world without requiring worship? From a Jewish perspective, this is not a deficiency, but a deliberate choice. Judaism does not understand its role as making all of humanity Jewish, but as providing the world with an ethical foundation that makes human society possible. The blessing lies in just laws, in respect for life and property, in responsible use of power, and in care for the vulnerable. When these values are lived out, God is not worshipped in words, but acknowledged through action. God does not need human affirmation, but humanity needs a framework that prevents the world from collapsing into chaos. The second debate concerns intention. Within rabbinic tradition, there has long been discussion about whether it is sufficient for a non-Jew to follow the Noahide laws in practice, or whether one must also have a conscious intention to serve God. Some rabbis have argued that action alone is not enough. If the laws are followed merely out of habit, culture, or social necessity, something essential is missing. In this view, a non-Jew reaches their highest potential only when the laws are observed because they were commanded by God. Other rabbis have taken a more pragmatic position. They point out that the world cannot be sustained by intentions alone, but by concrete behavior. A society in which people act justly out of habit is better than a society in which good intentions never become action. From this perspective, intention may grow over time, but action must come first. God is not concerned only with what people believe inwardly, but with how they actually live. The third debate follows naturally from the first two. If the Noahide laws represent a minimum, why has Rabbinic Judaism not developed a clear path beyond them for non-Jews, a kind of ladder from basic ethics to higher levels of moral and spiritual life? Why is there no parallel system to halakha designed for the rest of humanity? The answer appears to lie in Judaism's deep caution toward religious universalism. Creating such a ladder would involve ranking people spiritually, defining levels of holiness outside the covenant, and moving towards something resembling mission or conversion pressure. Historically, Judaism has had strong reasons to fear such systems. Centuries of coercion, forced conversion, and religious hierarchy have shaped a tradition that is careful not to impose spiritual structures on others. At the same time, there are hints of moral distinction even here. Rabbinic texts speak of the righteous among the nations, people whose way of life grants them a share in the world to come. But this is not presented as a formal program or a structured assent. It is recognition, not regulation. Taken together, these three debates reveal a consistent pattern in Noahide thought. It prioritizes action over confession, minimum standards over maximal demands, and social stability over spiritual ranking. It leaves room for faith, but does not impose it. It values intention, but does not make it an absolute requirement. It acknowledges moral excellence, but refuses to turn it into a hierarchy. Perhaps this is both the strength and the tension of the Noahide laws. They are robust enough to function in a world of belief, doubt, and diversity, yet open enough to leave questions unresolved. Not everything is defined, not everything is completed, and precisely for that reason, the conversation remains alive. Thank you for listening. If you have reflections, additions, or corrections, please feel free to share them. Thoughtful dialogue helps deepen understanding, and we are grateful for it. If you found this reflection meaningful, consider sharing it with others who may be interested. This has been a reflection from the Yeshua community. Peace and blessings.